I'm so abundant everywhere I go. Look up at the sky, I can see the money flow. My soul is a tree, every day I will grow. Love and peace are the seeds that I only plan to throw.
What is up? If you are tuned in with the Black Sheep podcast. Okay, if you didn't see the first video, the introduction of kind of what the Black Sheep was, go check that one out. But this video, I'm about to tell y'all a little bit about me and why I consider myself a Black Sheep. You know, why I give myself that label, why I know I fall under that category. So, first things first, growing up, see, I already knew I was different. I was different from the girls, like, because one, I was a tomboy. I'm like still a tomboy now. I like trust me. The funny thing is, like, I like Brad dolls and stuff like that. Like, I liked playing with dolls. I like playing house. I like playing games. Yada yada yada. But like, I love to wear basketball shorts. I'm not gonna lie though. When I was it Kohl's? Honestly, I think it was Kohl's and Old Navy. It's either both or one or the other, but everyone knows, like, I feel like everyone wore those shorts, like they like the short shorts. I didn't mind rocking the short shorts, like, I did, like, because they all came in different colors, and if you know me, I do like to match, like, you know what I mean? Like, I do like to match colors, and, like, that's just me, and I've always been that way. I've always been a sneakerhead, and I've always liked to match with colors, like, that's just me. Like, I've just always been like that. Now, growing up, I mean, I kind of lost the sneaker touch because, like, I stopped focusing on them, but I'm getting back into it. But no, I knew that I was always different because, like, one is, like, I never liked the drama. I never, ever really liked drama. But, like, being a kid, like, obviously you go through a lot of things your first time, like fights and whatnot. And I'll talk about fights when it comes to, like, when it comes to the Friends and Lovers podcast, when it comes to that episode. But, like, growing up, like, I knew I was always different. Like, I was one that kind of, like, taught myself street smarts, you know, like, I've always been outside. I loved being outside. I'm climbing trees, don't, like, seriously climbing trees, like, climbing them high as hell as anything, like, but that was just me. Like, I love to climb trees. I like to be outside. Didn't care if I got dirty and stuff like that. And then growing older, like, I love to play football. Like, if you know me, or if you were in my neighborhood growing up, like, we used to always play football in all the fields. Like, it would be either Greer Street Field, back here on, like, Tennant Street, like, over here, I think that's Tennant Street, like a street like it's behind my house. Like, there's different locations, like Fenton Street, but we were always playing football, and I loved to play football. I don't know what it was. I just loved to play freaking football. Like, so it's like all the girls, like, a lot of my female friends, like, they would just be watching the game and stuff like that, and, you know, like, talking about who's cute, who's not. The thing is, I was still attracted to men. Till this day, I am still attracted to men, and people probably find that as, like, surprising just because I'm, like, a tomboy, but it's like, no, like, I like whatever I want. Like, now, like, but like I said, like, I always knew I was different because instead of just watching from the sidelines and being a cheerleader, I was in the game. I like to be in the game. I was tackling, getting tackled. Like, that was just me. So I already knew right there I was different in that aspect from other people. Well, other females, I should say. But, like, I was still, like, I had a great relationship with females and males growing up. That was just me. Like, I always was like that. Like, and I was always just a friendly person. Like, I loved hanging out with people, and I love friendships. Like, that, if you don't know who I am, you couldn't say that. You couldn't say that wasn't true about me. You know what I mean? But I love people. Like, I'm a big ass people person. So it's like, I knew, like, one, I was different because, like, being a tomboy, not always worried about, like, being a girly girl or anything. So it was like, that separated me in a way, but people still accepted me, whether they were talking about me or whatever. I was still accepted. And that's, like, one way that, like, you know, I was a little black sheep then. Like, instead of being a cheerleader, I'm over here playing in the field. Like, I'm playing the game and stuff like that. And, like, it's like, I didn't care. Like, I mean, sure, I know I got made fun of sometimes. Like even if they were just joking, like, be like, oh, she manly and stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm not a man. I'm just strong, and I just like sports. And it's just like when it came to, like, sports, actually, like, I had a cousin who was in gymnastics for, like, mad years, like, great fucking gymnast, and she was in there for, like, over a decade. I feel like she was in there for a grip. I know I started gymnastics, but I guess I wasn't feeling it for whatever reason, and then I ended up being in karate. But anybody could be in karate, but it's just like, it's like that a lot of people, especially like I feel like more in the past, like people could see that as more of a masculine sport, and then gymnastics being more of a feminine sport, even though like feminine and masculines did either one. It didn't really matter. But that's just how I know a lot of people perceive things. But I didn't care. I like karate. I rocked with karate for about like 6 years. Like I was probably like 6 or not, maybe like 6 till 12, something like that. Like definitely elementary school. And I was in there till I got my junior black belt. Honestly, I really wished and I mean yeah, it's already passed, but it's just amazing to think where would I be if I would have took martial arts more serious, if I actually went to competitions and tournaments and stuff like that. If I actually put myself in that position to just keep growing with it, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, being in martial arts, that's something that taught me perseverance. It taught me patience. It taught me a lot just at a young age. It teaches you that balance. Shout out to anybody who's in martial arts or any type of martial art type of sport or work, because it's something that can definitely help you with your growth. And I'm thankful for the opportunity that I had to be in karate, and I went to Emerald Karate, which I think is still around. It changed in different locations. It was in Hatboro, PA, and off of York Road. Then it ended up being right next to the Yum Yums off of Street Road in my area. For those who don't know, I do live in PA. I live in Warminster, PA right now. So if you're familiar with that area, then you know what I'm talking about. There's Yum Yums, and then there's a pool place. But I think before the pool place, it was Emerald's Karate then, and then now it's over here on Byberry Road. But still, that was something that was a big part of me. I did love karate. I still have all my belts. I still have my bong from it. A bong, not a Cheech and Chong bong. I'm talking about it's a bong. It's a stick. So if you know martial arts, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, still I knew that's something that just kind of put me more in that kind of masculine energy growing up. So it's either way, it's I still wasn't doing a girly girl sport or anything, and you're probably what's a girly girl sport? But I'm just saying I wasn't in dance or anything, which can be an all person sport, I know, but I'm just saying I wasn't in the Kelly Richards and stuff like that. I'm trying to think, I wasn't a cheerleader of any sort, you know what I mean? If anything, I wasn't. I just like to do what I want to do. I almost played football for our township Warminster Pioneers. I went to some tryouts. No, I wouldn't say tryouts, because you didn't really have to try. You just kind of went to practices and joined up. And I almost was about it. And then after the first game, for some reason, I was just no, maybe this ain't for me. It's just not for me. I don't know why, but I just did it. I just stopped. I just didn't continue with it. After I got all my pads and everything, I just said, nope, sayonara. So then we'll move that up to 6th grade, 7th grade. When I got into sports, I was a black sheep in middle school because I said 6th grade gym class, we learned how to play field hockey. So then 7th grade, I tried out for the field hockey team because, shout out to Miss Zobel, my gym teacher back then, who introduced that to us in gym class. And then I tried out for it 7th grade year and I made the team. So I started playing field hockey. And then I wasn't say I was a full black sheep yet, because there was one other black person on the team. They were mixed, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they're black and Puerto Rican, so it didn't really mean no difference. So there was another person of color on the team. 8th grade though, it's being the only black person. Yeah, I was the only black person. Then we had one Spanish. I think I had one Spanish person on the team. Yeah, Natalie, right? Yeah. So it's we had a little bit of color on there, you know what I mean? But of course I stand out because like I'm the one with all the melanin on the team, so I was definitely the black sheep of that. But I didn't let that kind of stop me. Like I never let me being different in the oddball out kind of like stop me, because I was really great at the sport. 8th grade we were undefeated and unscored on. Like I was definitely one of the starting players. I was one of the good players, you know what I mean? And I even stayed in that sport all the way till 12th grade. Like I went to high school playing field hockey, and yeah, I was still the only black person on the team, and it didn't matter because like I was still killing shit. So like we had a great squad, a great team. So it was always cool. But I never let that stop me. Even if the teammates, called me chocolate and stuff like that. But it was out of like fun love. I mean, people can think about it like being like it's wrong now, but it's just, especially with all the controversy and Black Lives Matter BS, but it is what it is. I knew that the people weren't really trying to hurt me. Like either way, we were still part of the team. We laughed, giggled. Everybody was chill, and being in the sport, like, which sometimes people can get in that position where they're like, you know what, like I don't want to be I'm different, like what if they'll make fun of me, or no one's gonna like me because and it's just like I never let that stop me from being in sports. I never let that define who I was. Like if anything, like I stood out because I was a good ass player. If anything, and that's what it was. Like I got looked out and praised for just being who I was, still being a good person. Like I used to like to give my team speeches and stuff like that, like in the beginning of the game, after the game, like shit like that. Like so like I was praised for positivity regardless. So it did not matter. I never let that, even though like self-consciously I believe, like I've had it in my head, like yeah, obviously like I'm the only black person on the team, and like people could definitely like point that out and make it seem like, oh shit, and say what they want to say, like, oh maybe they just gave it to her because she's the only. No, I don't think anyone thought like that. Literally, I have a great personality and I'm great with athletics, so I earned my shit by being a part of something and having fabulous growth during that. So it's just like that's a positive way of being the black sheep and not letting you count yourself out, because you don't want to count yourself out. You don't want to sit here and let something like that stand in the way. You got to embrace that and be like, yeah, I am the only black person on the team, but I'm going to be the best motherfucking player on my goddamn team. Like that's the type of attitude you got to have. So anybody who's like in school or just gets involved with certain things, hobbies or whatever, and they just feel like, like just because like you're a certain color or you look different or whatever, even if you're missing like ligaments, like hands, fingers, it don't matter, because at the end of the day your uniqueness is going to stand out because of how great you are, and you got to remember that. Don't let your insecurities get to you, and I'm glad I never let my insecurities get to me, because I would have never got to experience having fun and pizza parties with people and just making a good friendship. Like I would have missed out on that, I did play basketball too, but I only played in 8th grade. Yeah, I played in 8th grade basketball. I should have tried out for 9th grade, but I didn't, so we can't go back in the past now. But I think if I would have, I know strongly that I can put my mind towards anything, and I know I can succeed and be great at anything that I want to put myself into. So why I didn't, I think, was I feeling something? I don't know, but but yeah, I just did it. I just was like, field hockey was it. I stayed in field hockey. I didn't do any other sports, but I did get involved. When I was in school, and that's something else. Like people try to sit here and like make it seem like certain people get picked for certain things or get involved in certain things just because they look alike, and especially like like people have their own thoughts, and people put their own words on things and their feelings on things. Don't fall, please. But yeah, as I'm saying, like I never ever let anything hold me back. I never let the color of my skin hold me back, because like I'm telling you, being a black sheep, like you got to use that to your advantage. Hello, you got to stand out. And I'm not talking about black sheep as in just because I'm black. I'm talking about black sheep because obviously I stood out. I was different. Like, even on the team, like just because I was surrounded by all females doesn't mean I was going to be the girly girl. I mean, did I have to wear dresses sometimes? Yeah, for school dances and stuff. But other than that, like I still was me. You know what I mean? I still was me. I never had to change. I never felt like I had to blend in with people just because, like, no. Like, just because other people were probably worried about boyfriends, yada, yada, relationships. No. Did I have boyfriends growing up? Yeah, I did. Like, I definitely did. But I don't think, like, I was really pressed about them. And that's another way where I stood out kind of being a black sheep, because with all my friends and stuff growing up, especially my females, of course, like every other female who is straight, like, loves a guy, loves the boys, always want to be about the boys and stuff like that. As if for me, it was just like, I feel like I felt growing up that, like, I wasn't probably, like, the most attractive and stuff like that, just because, like, I have scars all over my body from being a tomboy, and just because of what I wore and stuff like that. So I never thought that I was, like, really, like, you know, I felt like I had to be a girly girl just to kind of, like, get a boyfriend or something like that. But did I still get boyfriends by the way that I look? Yeah, I did. You know what I mean? But I was never like, oh my God, so pressed that I had to have one like everybody else. So I know I stood out that way. And that kind of still carried in, like, when it came to getting older in high school. Like, I lost my virginity at, 17? So it's just like, those experiences, like, a lot of people were already been there, doing that, done that, doing the nasty, having sexual experiences and stuff like that. And the most I was doing was probably kissing. You know what I mean? And then, like, getting older, I mean, obviously, like, do whatever, but, like, I have I have stories, like, like, I got a little freaky personality. Trust me. Like, I'm not innocent. like, I mean, I'm innocent in some aspects, but, like, there's other aspects where I'm not. Like, but, like, growing up, like, I did end up kind of getting over that a little bit. But sometimes it's like, it's not like it doesn't ever, like, spark in my mind, like, oh, did that person, like, not want me because of how I look, because how I am and stuff like that. Like, sometimes that happens, but I think that happens in everybody. But, like, I've learned that, like, I don't gotta change who I am just for love. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna love me for me, you're gonna love me for me, and that's it. And if you don't, you don't, and then that's not my loss. That's your loss. Like, it is what it is. So it's just like, I just always knew, like, standing out, like, you're not gonna get the same attention as you do for everybody, even if people look at you with some type of way, like, in a negative manner. You know what I mean? Like, even, like, just because, like, me being a tomboy, like, I can get looked at, and I was looked at more as, like, one of the bros instead of, like, one of the hoes. But at the end of the day, is that a bad thing? Not really, because it's like, I'd rather not be a hoe, because who wants to be a hoe? A lot of people growing up, they like that thing, and to each their own. Some people like to get all over the place. I was not one of those people, and that's where I think it's a positive way to be a black sheep and stand the fuck out. Because why do I need to sit here and prove myself to anybody by showing off my goodies? Like, trust me, I love my assets. Literally, like, I love my assets. Like, I do. I will never chop these bad boys off, ever. The girls are staying forever. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I never cared about being so revealing. Like, I'll wear, like, a beater or something like that, and, like, I don't care if cleavage is showing, but, like, I don't also want to be looked at just for my attributes. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be looked at and judged on who I am as a person genuinely, and what I bring to the table, like that, in a genuine manner, not just because, like, oh, I'm showing them popping titties and popping punani all over the place, because that's not me. That ain't me. To each their own, but that's just not me. But it's just like those things, like, looking back, I'm just like, damn, like, it showed me a lot. Like, because it's like, I would sit back and I would watch other people, like, really, like, go out of their way and cry and sob over situations and relationship, and it's like, damn, when you think about it, like, I don't got those problems. like, so it's not bad being on the sideline and being a little black sheep in that case. And that's what I think people need to realize. So it's like, anybody, even if you're young, even if you're still in high school, you know what I mean? And even if you're not in school and you're just still growing, you're a young adult or an adult, like, you don't have to sit here and force yourself to fit in and be different, because there is going to be somebody out there for you. It doesn't matter what you look like. It don't matter anything. There's somebody who is there for you out here in this universe. There's so many people out here. so many people and aliens out here. Like, what the hell? What do you mean? Like, why should you sit here and waste your time trying to fulfill somebody else's like wants when it's like you have to lose yourself in the process? Nah, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Sorry, I thought someone came in. Oh yeah, this water bottle's from the TikTok shop. I like it. You know, one of those water bottles that kind of get you throughout the day. Comes with 3. You get that medium one, you got that big boy, and there's a tiny one that's smaller. But that's downstairs. You get the gist though. But like I said, don't ever feel like you have to speed up your process in life. Like, don't ever feel like you gotta rush and have sex just because the group of people around you are having sex and stuff like that and getting into sexual situations. Like, there'd be dead ass be times where I'd be in a group of friends where people are hooking up and stuff like that, and I'm not. Like, and I'm just in the room or something like that, not watching, but like, that sounds creepy if I say I was watching, because it's not like it was like that. It was just like, I'd just be the oddball out. You know what I mean? Like, I would think that I'm just riding for my friends, you know, just being there. And it's just like, I don't got somebody. And it's just like, I used to let that sometimes get to me and be like, damn, like, oh, I'm not good enough. Because why? Because I'm tomboy? Like, and it's just like, no, that shit was a blessing. That shit was a fucking blessing the whole time. It was a blessing. It was showing you how you don't gotta move like everybody else. It's showing you that you should love yourself always. Even though being young, you're gonna go through mistakes for the first time. They're first time mistakes. That's the whole point of growing. That's the whole point of learning. You're gonna go through shit so you can get shown some shit. And you don't realize that because you're just too busy worried about being cool or being looked at a certain way, being praised in a certain way. And it's like, damn, we ain't just been praising ourselves the whole time, like, and not giving a fuck what other people think. Because at the end of the day, it's like, who can validate that? You know what I mean? So, yeah. But that's what I can say about that. Other ways of me being the black sheep when it comes to like family and stuff like that. Like, was I a little bit of a rebel? Hell yeah. Like, yeah, so was I a rebel? A little bit, you know, I was a little bit of a trouble. I wasn't like a crazy troublemaker. Did I do some things that I probably shouldn't do? Hell yeah, I can definitely say that. Like, I did some sus stuff in the back of the day. Like, I hear committing crimes and shit. Dead ass, but just not getting caught. Like, I was a rebel. I am not gonna lie. I had a rebel fucking past. But it's not like I changed who I was. Like, I still was a cool person, a nice person, or anything. But I'm just saying, like, I did shit like a kid. You do some shit, you make mistakes, you hang out with a lot of people who are just up to no good and stuff like that, taking candy from a store, stuff like that. Like, yeah. Throwing CDs in the back. Oh my gosh. Rebels. I used to always, like, get my ass whooped, for real. That leather belt, this brown leather belt, man, I'm telling you, I remember the smell. Oh my god, like, yeah, like, and even if I wasn't being quote unquote bad, it would just be speaking up. That's what I think. That's most of the reason why I got my ass beat, to be honest, because I would just speak up, talking back, because I was standing up for my young ass self. Which, nowadays, don't be beating your kids just because they want to stick up for themselves, because at the end of the day, they have a right to speak for themselves, just like every average person. You don't have to be a certain age, you don't have to be an adult just to be able to get your point across and talk about how you feel and say how you feel and get your point out there. That's not right. It's really not right. Like, it's really not right. Like, especially if you're not the person's, like, mother. I feel like only your parents should be able to discipline you. I'm out here getting disciplined by my auntie and shit, like my grandma, but my grandma was like a mother mom to me, so it was like whatever. But it's just like my aunt and stuff like that, she had her fair share, and it's like, ain't nobody got time. I used to run away from family members and shit. Like, growing up, like, I used to run away and hide in this room in my grandma's house when I lived with my grandma and stuff like that, like, in this middle room. when people will try to get me, I was like, yep, I'm hiding, I'm dipping in this room. I used to hide my little report cards in like elementary school behind like cabinets and stuff like that. And yeah, those are the type of things, like childish things. I used to do dumb childish things, like dumb childish ass fucking things. So yeah, that's a black sheep in a bad way, you know what I mean? When you're actually being a rebel and doing things you're not supposed to be doing, stealing and getting into trouble and stuff like that. Did I ever get locked up? No. I'm gonna knock on wood because I ain't get locked up. I don't have no reason to get locked up. I'm not out here trying to do nothing crazy these days. But I'm just saying, that's just where I was at as a kid and just growing up. Like, I was like, one, I'm an only child. You know what I mean? Like, I have a brother and a sister from my dad and stuff like that. One lives in Delaware, one lives in South Carolina. And like my dad wasn't really in my life growing up like that. Like, he was so in and out, and like still is till this day, to where I kind of just like, I'm used to it. It is what it is. Like, yeah, mommy daddy issues, they definitely have affected me, definitely mentally, emotionally. And I finally like got to a point where it's like I'm kind of like, I mean, still healing, but like feeling more healed than I've ever been, because it's like not having your dad in your life for a long time, like, and just thinking like how much time is missed and stuff like that, and trying to also like learn to forgive and forgive for yourself at the end of the day. Like, that's a big deal. Like, it's a big fucking deal. I just feel like now, at the age that I am now, it's just like everyone gets the same treatment. Like, if I'm not worth the effort to put in, then I gotta reciprocate that back. Like, because I know my worth, I know who I am, like, I know how much love I carry and stuff like that. So it's just like, if you're not able to accept me for who I am, if you're not able to put in the effort and show how much you actually really care, I can't keep doing that. So I kind of just got to a point where it's just like, it is what it is. Like, I don't wish bad on anybody. I don't wish bad on anybody at all, because I'm still a black sheep today when it comes to my family, because I cut everybody off. I didn't cut everybody off for laughs and giggles and to think I was better than them. It's like I cut everybody off because sometimes you got to realize, like, shit, when you realize that you're not wrong in a situation, but people want to make it seem like you are, it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, like, this time in my life, it's like I've cut off so many people that I never even thought I would cut off in my life. I thought there was people that I was going to the grave with. I thought there was people that I was like, you know, like I was going to weddings with. I was going to be there for birthdays, be there for their kids, like a lot of situations. But when you actually take some time to separate yourself from a lot of shit, and then also when you realize how people really treat you and how people kind of really like looked at you, it's like, it's an eye-opener. And that's what I went through in life, especially these past like 5 years. Like, I've started to realize, like, damn, I'm coping with things in ways that I shouldn't cope with them, and I don't have the best influences around me. The funny thing is, it's like, I'm one of those friends where it's like, I like to give advice, I like to be there for you. Like, you could call me and tell me you're going through something, I'm going to give you the best fucking advice or the best words of just encouragement ever, just to lift you up and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's me giving and distributing my energy to people, to a lot of people that did not do the same for me. You know what I mean? Like, people would come to me for the benefit of how they wanted to get something out of me, like in a good way, in a positive way, like trying to be a friend. Like, there ain't nothing wrong, but it's just like, sometimes the person kind of needs that back. Did I have some people in my life that were there that I can go and talk to? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat that people didn't do things for me, because every friend that I've ever had, and especially before I even cut everybody off, everybody has done something for me. You know what I mean? Whether it was they've helped me, like loan me money or something like that, or let me use their cars or something like that, or, you know, like made me food, let me sleep. Like, I'm never going to say that anybody that I've grown up with has never helped me in any type of way, whether it was something that was positive or negative. You know what I mean? If somebody wanted to go and drink with me or something like that, grab me a drink, people will grab me a drink. If some, like, same thing when it comes to like smoking, if somebody wants to smoke, like, you know what I mean? Like, I will never ever say none of y'all people ever did not do anything for me. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for every situation I've ever been to, everybody is a learning experience for me. Everybody meant something to me, or even still does to this day. Like, just because I don't want to be around certain people, it's just because there's people who have hurt me and have not realized how they really hurt me, and have not like put the mirror in front of themselves and really reflect. I put myself in that position where I've reflected on myself a lot about a lot of things. I take accountability for a lot of shit. Like, you know, like, I know I used to be a little drunk asshole mess. Like, I used to fall asleep in people's cars, like, while I was lit and shit like that. I was sloppy as fuck. I used to be a sloppy ass drunk. I used to be a sloppy ass person, and still just run off of the energy that I still have to this day, and still think it was cool, it was fun, and all that shit. And then I got put in the position of being looked at as, like, the only, like, the fun friend to, like, the turn up friend, where anyone just was to hit me up just to turn up. Just like growing up, like, I had parties at my house. High school, I used to have like more than 30 people sometimes at this crib, and my house is not that big. But I would flood this house out with people. You know what I mean? I would do the damn thing. I was always a turn up friend, and that carried on after high school too. But then, like, after some time, you gotta realize, like, whoa. Like, I see why certain people walked away from me. There are certain people that walked away from me because they felt like either I wasn't going anywhere in life, or that I just cared too much about turning up and stuff like that, which in reality was like, it wasn't about caring about turning up too much. It was the fact that it's like I was like in a cry for help in a lot of certain ways that nobody was actually really paying attention to or being there for me. And I'm not saying like anyone's like obligated to sit here and hold my hand and try to help me, but it's just like no one understood kind of why I was doing what I was doing. What? You validating that for me? Because you weren't even there yet. You came years after Mama's. Don't start. Don't start. 1 second. As I was saying, it's like I definitely was like in like a cry for help that I didn't even realize. I mean, there was a lot of things that I did realize, but no one else did. I think everyone just looked at me as just like, oh, she just likes to get fucked up, but she don't care about her future, she don't care about her life, when that really wasn't the case. It's just like I was dealing with a lot of mommy daddy issues, and it's like before I really realized what really was the things that I was kind of coping with and trying to just kind of push in the back and not really like want to sit here and cry about it, because it's like there's a lot of days and nights that like I've spent crying and I don't have nobody to be there for me and stuff like that. And it's just like when you know that people are looking at you in a one specific way because that's their perspective of you, but no one ever like really sat there, and I can say that nobody has ever really sat there and said, Maya, why do you drink as much? Are you okay? Like no one has ever looked at it in that type of perspective, unless if I actually took the time to really maybe talk to somebody. And like even when I put myself in like therapy and stuff like that, and I didn't even last long in therapy because I just felt like it wasn't doing much for me, but it was just like no one really actually worried about getting down to what the fuck was really going on. You know what I mean? So, and that's another way I was looked at as the black sheep, because I know a lot of people have doubts with me. A lot of people would just have their own opinions, and it's just like, who are you to judge somebody, but you're never really there to help somebody? And I didn't realize that for a long time, that like a lot of my friends, like they really weren't real friends, because a lot of people who judge me for shit, they were doing the same shit either before me, still currently, or just even when they were going through their lower parts of them and I was there for them, it's not like it wasn't reciprocated. If anything, I kept surrounding myself with people who just were on low vibrations, so we were all joining them. We were all like the low vibration club without even knowing. We thinking we're all high vibration because we're happy, celebrating, blah blah blah, turning up, but at the end of the day, it's like, shit, no. like I've been there for a lot of people in a lot of situations. Like, I'm the type that I will fight for you and defend you in so many different ways. It wasn't always like that when it came to me. I was more of the protector friend, but no one was really protecting me. Certain situations, people would be there for me and stuff like that, but not really. Not as much as I really was there for people. And people could probably argument that all day long, but it's like, I'm not going to sit here and argue because I know how it is. There's people who, like I'm telling you, that I never thought that I would not be part of their lives, whether it was because they chose to walk out or because I did. And honestly, I thank the people who did walk away, because some of you guys walked away, and it did make me realize, like, shit, like, I can understand why you walked away. But then it's just like, damn, would I ever walk away from you though? And that's how I look at things. It's like, shit, like, I would have never walked away from you at your lowest points, even if you weren't doing the best. Like, people walked away from me. Oh no, I gotta say this to the Lovers and Friends podcast, because it's gonna get real. But I'm just saying, that's just different ways of me being a black sheep when it comes to people in the lives in my life. And until now, I'm finally at a spot where I'm comfortable within myself. I'm ready to kind of share the shit that I've been through and share who I am, because it's like, I've been like the same person. I just grow. I just keep growing, and I set boundaries now. A girl never used to have boundaries, and now I got fucking boundaries. And that's why I still get looked at as like a black sheep, because it's like, people think that, oh, she thinks she better than that. No. That's not what it is. It's a simple fact that you think that, and it's also what you're projecting onto me. I'm not here trying to just be love and light, make people smile, make people laugh, have a good time, and just be in a good energy. That's all I like. Positive vibes all day, every day. Like, that's all I'm fucking with. But I know I get looked at differently, and people perceive me in different ways. And by all means, you can think whatever you want to think about me, but it is what it is. And that's what the attitude you got to have when it comes to being a black sheep. Okay, just because I might have had a shitty past, that does not mean that's not me. You know what I mean? Like, everything in the past does not mean I'm that same person now. You know what I mean? I'm the same physical, I'm still Maya, but I'm not my past. So a lot of people who would say they know me, they used to know me, but they don't know me now. And that's what a lot of people have to understand. Like, I've let a lot of people get away with a lot of shit, and just thought that I was just being that best friend because I just was worried about, like, being in part of people's lives. I kept worrying about, like, looking good for people and, like, not trying to be a shitty person so hard. Well, I'm not really a shitty person, but it's like, I used to think, like, oh my God, like, I have to be good for these people. It's like kind of impressing people, but impressing people with friendship. And it's like, for what? Because I didn't really have to impress. I was just always me, and I was always a good friend. But I'm just saying, being a black sheep in different ways, like, it's not always bad. Like, people will praise you, people will hate you. People will praise you because they hate you, people will hate you because they praise you. It's like that's just how it is. But you don't change. You change for the better, but you don't change for the worse if you really want to. And that's what this podcast is about. Like, people who are different, people who always stood out, people who aren't afraid to stick out, people who are who've always felt a little odd, or like the oddball. Like, honestly, being weird is the new cool these days, so it is what it is. But that's just kind of like examples of how I know I put myself in the black sheep category. So next episode, I'm definitely going to be talking about Lovers and Friends, which is going to be a fun one. I'm not gonna lie, these podcasts, these videos, like, raw and uncut. If people feel exposed, because we all know how it was. Like, it is what it is. If you feel some type of way, if you feel like you want to come on my videos, comment under my videos, have Twitter fingers under my videos, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just going to keep proving me right at the end of the day. So I would watch what you're going to do. But I'm just saying, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to expose people in a way where it's for bad to make me look good, because I know my shit wasn't perfect either, and I don't ever want to be perfect. But I know that I have a lot that I've took accountability for, and I don't care about exposing myself, because me exposing myself Well, one, what are y'all gonna do when you start exposing yourself and you start putting your shit out there and you take accountability for yourself? Well, what do other people have against you? Like, what else can they get? You can't throw no sticks and stones at me, because it don't matter. If I'm comfortable with putting my shit out there, do you think that me hearing whatever you guys say about me is really gonna kill me anymore? No. The old Maya used to give a fuck. The old Maya would want to argue back with you. The old Maya would just be like, let me rant and send 1 billion paragraphs in the text, but not this Maya. This Maya is more of a grounded Maya, more of a open-minded Maya, more of a centered Maya, more of a like, it is what it is Maya, more of a I don't give a fuck of what you gotta say about me Maya. And that's how all Black Sheep's gotta be. So hopefully you guys like this first episode. This is gonna be like 40 fucking minutes. But I'm about to edit this real quick. And yeah, hopefully you guys like this first episode of the Black Sheep podcast. I'll let y'all know when the next video is gonna come out. I'm definitely gonna post of when I'm gonna be putting something out, or like the day it's recorded or something like that, even if I do some pre-records, because I'm sure I'm gonna have to do a lot of pre-records for this podcast for sure. But yeah, I want to touch on so many different topics on here, because after we start talking about like things that I went through and stuff like that, like I want, like I'm telling you, I'm a wide variety of different things that we have been through in life. So I'm telling you, anywhere from ghost stories to the worst breakup stories to the best situations to the most greatest experiences, and like we're hitting all topics on this podcast. All right, but hope you enjoyed this podcast. The first actual episode of the Black Sheep podcast with your girl Miajavelle. I will see you guys in the next podcast. Hope you have a great day, great night, good evening, good morning, whenever you come across this video. Thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in, don't forget, share, subscribe, like if you want to be a part of this journey with me. And if you got anything you want to relate and talk about, don't ever feel scared to message me, whether it's on any of my medias or anything you want to talk about, anything, just let me know. I'm open to talking to people. I'm open to meeting new people. And that's what I want people to feel comfortable when it comes to this podcast. So your girl Miajavelle is out.
You put down the low, I started attracting, call it law of attraction.